Welcome back. Our next story here is about an issue everyone comes face to face with eventually, death. Often it comes unexpectedly, but for those with terminal illnesses or other conditions that significantly impact the quality of their lives, some states offer options. Florida is not one of them.
Death with dignity laws allow an individual to put an end to their suffering instead of prolonging it.
And as I-Team investigator Danielle DeRoss explains, support for the idea is growing in our state thanks to an unusual case.
Well, Matt and Sam, it is a tragic story that may not have ever happened if Florida had legalized some form of assisted suicide. The story begins in a hospital in Daytona Beach.
Drop the gun!
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
It was a tense standoff with police. A hospital patient shot to death in his bed. The suspect barricaded in the room.
We don't want to hurt you. Tell me what's going on.
Finally, after 4 hours, the suspect surrendered, handcuffed, then taken to jail in a wheelchair. Police say 76-year-old Ellen Gieland shot her terminally ill husband, Jerry, as part of a suicide pact, one she was too frightened to go through with. Now, Ellen is facing years in prison.
The defendant is currently charged with a first-degree felony.
Tony Ray, founder of Florida Death with Dignity, says Ellen and Jerry's family could have been spared a lot of pain and suffering.
The first thing I thought was if they had an option for medical aid in dying, this probably would not have happened.
10 states and Washington, D.C. have death with dignity laws. Today, more are considering it, including Florida.
It's a tough conversation that folks don't have. And I think, this is the first time that they've had this brought to the table.
Fort Lauderdale Representative Daryl Campbell and Broward State Senator Lauren Book introduced bills this session proposing a Florida Death with Dignity program. Under their proposals, terminally ill adults would qualify provided that they meet the following guidelines. First, a physician would need to confirm they have less than 6 months to live. A psychiatrist or psychologist would need to confirm that they are mentally capable of making this decision. Then the patient would need to make 2 verbal and 1 written request to their doctor for medication to end their life. Finally, after a 48-hour waiting period, the patient would receive the prescription, usually a powder, which is then mixed with juice, and the patient must take it themselves.
And as they fall asleep within 1 or 2 minutes, they are unconscious in 5 to 10 minutes, and generally the average is they pass away within 1 to 2 hours. So it's basically like laying down, taking this drink, and just falling asleep and passing away in your sleep. It's peaceful.
Florida Death with Dignity says in the last 3 years, the organization has grown to 3,000 volunteers who collect signatures, set up booths at events, and spread the word. But in Tallahassee, there wasn't the same interest. These bills weren't even given committee hearings.
The fact that we're not having a conversation about this, and we're seeing cases where individuals are going to extreme measures to help their loved ones get out of pain, it's need to be discussed.
I can't stress enough how important this is.
Lawmakers in Stephanie McSherry's home state of Maine passed a death with dignity law in time for her partner, Eric. A firefighter and father of 2, he was diagnosed with an aggressive brain cancer, which he fought as long and as hard as he could.
It was very clear that it was going to be a long road of slowly losing him before our eyes. And he wanted absolutely no part of that.
Together, Stephanie and Eric decided on a date, his 50th birthday. She stayed by his side until it was over. So many patients want a death that is painless and peaceful. And from what you could tell, is that what Eric was able to have?
In comparison to what Eric was going to go through, this was the best option, and he was able to be peaceful. I'm not scared of that anymore. I've walked beside someone who faced it with incredible courage and was able to do so with grace and dignity intact because of an opportunity like medical aid in dying.
With Florida's legislative session ending last week, the Death with Dignity bills are not going to be advancing anytime soon. Representative Campbell and policy advocates say that they know in other states getting approval for this took years. So they tell us that they are in this effort for the long haul.
Danielle, it seems like a lot of people support this legislation. What's the holdup?
Well, probably the biggest hurdle right now is opposition from the American Medical Association. And right now, we can show you what is in their code of ethics. Pulled up the AMA website right here and highlighted this section. Physician-assisted suicide is fundamentally incompatible with the physician's role as a healer, would be difficult or impossible to control, and would pose serious societal risks. So in addition to the AMA's opposition to this, there's typically opposition from the religious community. And interestingly, we're hearing that there are some folks in the disability community who are worried about this, saying that people with disabilities could be coerced or manipulated to take part in a program like this. So very interesting to learn who is opposed to death with dignity.
And what about Ellen Geelan, the woman charged with killing her husband? What's the latest there?
It's a case we're going to continue to follow. It's still developing, and prosecutors recently reduced the charges against her from murder to assisting in manslaughter. That is still a felony, and she faces other charges for the standoff with police, but right now she is out on bail. Her family says that their lawyers advised them not to discuss the case. We did speak with them. Her niece shared with me that this whole experience has made her an advocate for death with dignity laws.
It is interesting because if it was to pass, it could put physicians in odd places. You know, if they didn't feel comfortable submitting that, sort of treatment, but were being basically forced because of the law, they would have to.
Well, in other states, though, physicians don't have to take part.
Okay.
So you would have to find a physician who is comfortable with that and then work with them. So there are some guardrails here for those concerns.
All right, Danielle, thank you.